The science fiction production and Star Trek fan film news you need to know now. December continues the cracking pace we've seen throughout the rest of the year. Before we know it, the final hours will be upon us. That means there's just 19 days until MTM and I reveal our best of 2023 list. A rundown of the best Star Trek fan films that stay in their lane and don't care about sandboxes. Chris Lee has continued his fantastic releases. This time we have two trailers. One with the USS Indiana, which you might recognise the design. It's from the Star Trek Planet of the Titans / Star Trek Phase 2 era back in the 70s. And also released this week is the USS Libra Under Fire. Can't wait to see more from Chris. Where They Have Gone, We Follow is now just 10 views behind Between Two Worlds to become the 6th most watched fan film made by Potemkin Pictures. Meanwhile, Prime Directive is just 50 views away from joining the 10,000 view club, and Spirit in the Star is 307 views away from that 5-figure milestone. Unfinished Business is 55 views away from reaching 4 figures at the moment. Hopefully they'll reach that in the not too distant future and continue on from there. Well, here's something new in fan films. The awesome folks at FS Film in the Czech Republic have been inspired by Strange New Worlds' Subspace Rhapsody and are doing their own musical extravaganza. Radak telling me that this has been years in the making. Get ready for some Village People music, because I suspect more of you like them than you dare to admit. And more. Plenty more coming up from FS Film on the 17th of the month. Well, the countdown to Supanova number 100 in late 2024 has begun, with Australia's largest and longest running pop culture expo, Supanova Comic Con and Gaming, announcing a veritable who's who of superstar guests leading the charge towards Supanova 95 in Melbourne and Supanova 96 on the Gold Coast in April. The two headliners so far are Doctor Who's Jodie Whittaker and The Mandalorian's Giancarlo Esposito. And I can't believe I need to end the 4th Trekzone breakdown with another response to those who sought to sabotage my 20th anniversary celebration. They've taken umbrage at the sprouting of the seeds that they sowed following their attempted hijacking of our second Fan Film Awards. And as the cracks begin to form in their tenuous alliance, one individual has lashed out at MTM's choice of headlines in his weekly wrap over the past weekend. We'll set aside the poor grammar, written clearly by the hammering of a keyboard, the insults and even the attempted cultural appropriations of which he tries to do every time he speaks to us. And instead, we'll focus on two things: a provable lie, the lie that festered and seems to have been the initial spark behind it all, and a lie that seems to be the generator for their ongoing despair at being removed from Trekzone's fan film coverage. Ambush was never disqualified for crediting Alec Peters. Ambush was, in fact, nominated for Best Ground Fight Scene at the 2022 Awards, a category cut by me 4 times. As to their other point that you can't exclude people for who they associate with, or words to the effect, I don't know, it was 4 pages long. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. And no other award show takes requests for nominations. No other podcast or media outlet produces content without editorial control, and neither will we. To be perfectly clear, MTM and Trekzone will not consider any fan film where any of the 19 co-signatories and certain others whom we decide performed duties in a winnable category for our award shows. For example, that means that if Ray Tessie is the executive producer, the fan film is ineligible. If Joshua Irwin is credited as the director of photography, the film is ineligible. If Vic Mignogna directed, for one, why, and 2, the film is ineligible. If Samuel Cockings produced the visual effects, the film is ineligible. That is what we're going to be doing. They all had opportunities with Trekzone, countless hours of airtime and publicity, pushes for crowdfunding campaigns, live streams dedicated to their work. But they decided to burn the bridge to ashes because they sided with 2 people with a serious axe to grind against this channel. And that's the Trekzone breakdown for this, the 12th of December, 2023.